Alright folks, hello and welcome to another Legacy video. We're going to be playing some more Legacy Amulet. And I'm not going to go in depth on the deck list and stuff like that, because I'm just trying out this deck and I'm just playing one more league with this deck list that I played last time. So if you want in-depth deck, you can go to the previous video that I uploaded on the deck. And that's going to be it. Let's play some matches. Okay, let's see what we got in this round number 1. So we get to play turn 1 Amulet off of a Saga. I think I'm into that. Let's do that. Because that means that we're going to get either another Amulet or a bounce land off of these Saga. So I'm game with this. I can work with this. If we find a bounce land, we kind of just go off. Basic Island. So let's see what we draw. Udo. I think I'm going to go Cavern Giant as opposed to playing the Tropical Island. And the reason for doing this is that we may just find a bounce land. And if we do, we want to make sure that we can cast Primeval Titan. Opponent plays Polluted Delta. I mean, we are gonna be able to like get Udo and stuff, so this is not heinous. Hey, there you go, look at that. So now we just get to get a second Amulet instead, and we just get an encounter of Primeval Titan into play. You gotta play to your outs, etc, etc. Brainstorming response, you got it. So I don't need to worry about Leyline Binding, but I may have to worry about Swords to Plowshares. I'm probably still hasting this Primeval Titan. I can haste it off of a Trop. Unfortunately, the bounce land that I did draw was a Gruul Turf, meaning that I cannot haste it and also play the One Ring, which I would be able to do otherwise. But yeah, let's go Taiga into Battlements. And again, here we may get plowed, but that's okay. Go to combat. Okay, no plow is good. So this is interesting here. So what we can do is we can get another Cavernous Souls to name Giant. That would allow me to play Udo, and then I can go Udo into the One Ring. I can also play Ursa Saga. Get Ursa Saga, I mean. Yeah, let's do that. Let's do Cavernous Souls and Ursa Saga here. Cavern Giant. And I do think I'm interested in playing out the One Ring here, because there's the potential that my opponent they're playing a combo deck, and in which case I would like to just not die. Growth Chamber. Okay, so let's play Gruul Turf, and I guess I'm just going to bounce one of these Cavernous Souls and play out the One Ring. My opponent can force this and then like do some stuff, but Spell Pierce, another Brainstorm. Yeah, so they do have the force. They pitch Snapcaster Mage to Force of Will. Wow, I have not seen this card in a minute. This probably bodes well for me. This probably bodes well for me. Any Snapcaster Mage deck, I'm probably very excited to play against. That means there's the possibility of Blood Moon. Okay, so let's go Once Upon a Time to begin with. We found another Udo. We got a Fetch Land 2, another Saga. All of these are very enticing options. I think I'm gonna go with second Udo, because like this feeds the other Udo as well. So let's go with second Udo, and I'm just gonna go to combat first. And I know that I could make a construct and haste it, but I don't think my opponent has an answer to this. Oh, Petty Theft. Okay, well, yeah, obviously I'm stoked about this. So now we can go get Field of the Dead now. Messed up my clicks, but it's whatever. Okay, cool. So we won game 1. We're playing against some sort of fair deck that may or may not be playing Blood Moon. I definitely want Carpet of Flowers, and I probably want Vesuva, because I imagine that Field of the Dead is going to be good. I think Endurance is reasonable, but I'm not even sure if I want it. I don't like Collector Roof. One Ring's probably fine. Can maybe cut a Crop Rotation and cut a Boseiju. Actually, Boseiju is good if I'm fearing Blood Moon though, right? If I see that they have Murktide Region, then I'm going to be a lot more stoked about Maze of Ith. Let's cut Caracas. But yeah, Maze of Ith definitely in the question of potential cards to bring in. This hand is... it's actually kind of nice. Yeah, let's keep this. The fact that I already have Cavernous Souls is very, very sexy. I also have One Ring. Double Crop Rotation is not great in a matchup that is probably going to be about counter magic, because my opponent's game plan is likely to involve counter magic. So they lead on Ponder, and now we see some black mana. So let's lead on Once Upon a Time. Maybe my opponent will lace this. Okay, that's a green source. Let's get the fetch land, and I'm just gonna lead on Saga, I think. Actually, no, let's lead on Windswept Heath. And I'm gonna go get a basic forest, play Amulet of Vigor, pass the turn back. And now we can play Saga on turn 2. But this plays very nicely around Wasteland and potentially Blood Moon. Main phase fetch and do nothing. Okay, just pay to theft my amulet? Yeah, deal. Okay, replay that. Do I want to play around Blood Moon here? Let's play. I'm not going to play around Blood Moon here. I'm going to play around Days, however. So now if I find a bounce land, I guess I don't even need to find a bounce land. I need to resolve this crop rotation. We'll see if they have Blood Moon. Looks like no Blood Moon. Call against command. I get to discard Uro here. It's kind of value. Yeah, sure. Let's discard Uro. That's a Primeval Titan. So if I get a bounce land, yeah, let's crop rotation for Growth Chamber. And let's float a mana and replay Cavern Giant, and we're gonna make a dude. Pass its turn back. I think it's pretty unlikely that my opponent's playing Wasteland. Now next turn what we get to do is we're going to get an Amulet. Oh no, I guess I can't. I will need to use a mana. Oh, but I can get Uro into play. Cling to Dust, exiling Uro. That's pretty good, but it also means that my opponent is now down a land. Kinda good with this, actually. So let's make a construct, leaving green floating, and let's crop rotation the Ursa Saga away. And let's get another bounce land. Now we get an Amulet of Vigor, and now we get to play the One Ring. Not bad, not bad. Next turn we're gonna get to play Primetime. Second call against command. It's pretty good for my opponent, because that really messes with what I can do, but this is fine. So next turn I can not cast Primetime, but I can cast the One Ring, which is nice. I do think that we're pretty ahead here still. And a couple of turns from now we're gonna be able to find another Amulet. Not needing to play around Days is kind of a big deal, I think. Opponent's cantripping hard over there. Baleful Strix. That's hot. That is hot. So I think I'm actually going to play out this bounce land. Let's see what we draw off the One Ring. What enforces? Force Beaching Force. Yeah, we're definitely going to do this here. So bounce Cavern, redeploy Cavern on Giant. And I think I trade? Yeah, I trade because this opens up the attack for Primetime next turn. Unless my opponent thoughts it's me right now. And even if they do, it's like we still have a construct, 2/2 construct, and the Once Upon a Time, so it's still not the end of the world. Something like Murktide Regent wouldn't even be enough. Thoughtseize, they found it. Alright, there you go. And we top decked another one. Oh, this is... my opponent's not gonna be happy about this. They're not gonna be happy about that one. Alright, cool. Here's the battlements. Let's get in there, my friend. Swing, yes. Let's get Field of the Dead and another Saga. I could also Bojuka Bog. Yeah, let's get Field of the Dead and Bojuka Bog, actually. This is mostly because my opponent could be playing Murktide Regent, and this effectively blanks that as an option, so... Alright, got there. Grixis control, not good enough to... to stop top-decked Primeval Titans. You'll love to see it. Alright, round number 2, this hand looks fantastic. I mean, every hand with Exploration is just a banger, right? Kind of awkward that we're going to, like, you know, playing Breeding Pool and Shocking, but obviously the reason for playing Breeding Pool is... oh, we're playing against Breakfast. The reason to play Breeding Pool, though, is obviously Field of the Dead, right? So, we do have our main deck interaction in Endurance and Cephalid Illusionist. So they have the 1-2 combo, so I'm just going to yield. Have my opponent mill their entire deck. They just pass the turn. So now we just pass it back. Orin's Chant. Yeah, that sucks. Yeah, I'm dead now. So I guess I get to see their deck, so I might as well allow them to go through the process. Yeah, I'm not gonna let them see my deck though, so I'm just gonna concede. So we're playing against Breakfast. Surgical is good. This Wasteland is good. Obviously Bojuka Bog is good. Dismember's also pretty good. Force of Vigor and more Endurances. Yeah, so those are the cards that I'm into. Do I care about Collect Roof? I think so. I also care about Crop Rotation. Cavern is good, Caracas is not. I can also probably cut Field of the Dead. I don't think that the game's gonna be about that. Carpet of Flowers is really interesting. I don't think I care about it. Let's cut one Uro, maybe 1 or 2 Primeval Titans. And we're gonna cut the One Rings. We still live in Zeniths. Yeah, I think I'm gonna cut down on Zenith because my opponent's gonna have like Daces and whatnot. We can cut one Once Upon a Time maybe. Let's cut a Force. This hand does not do anything. Ship it. This hand does do stuff, so we're gonna keep this one. I think that I want to bottom Exploration. It means that I cannot I cannot pitch to the Endurance, but I think that's fine. Also, if the Exploration gets countered, I'm going to be sad, but I think it's fine. I'm also going to be naming Elemental with this Exploration, which is a little bit awkward. Zenith. Okay, so let's go. I guess I can go get Collector Roof, so let's do that. And I can play around these, so let's do that. Opponent ponders. Speeding Needle. Probably naming Saga. Okay, so float a mana. And I cannot actually get comboed out here, so I think I'm going to... Let's get Expedition Map, and I'm just going to Zenith for Uro. Opponent can daze this, which would suck, but it is what it is. So this puts something into play. Also being able to force now is kind of sexy, not gonna lie. Oh, I forgot that my own Collector Roof stops me from from cracking the Expedition Map. Whoops, mistakes were made. I mean, I do think my opponent's gonna have to, you know, get rid of the Oof, so they're eventually going to deal with it. But so yeah, I should definitely got an Amulet. Opponent's doing some cantripping over there. Play a land, move to combat, swing for 2, and say go. My opponent can deploy the entire combo in the same turn. Stoneforge. So this most likely gets Kaldra. Shuko number 2. And they play it out. Very interesting. So I think I Endurance here, right? I think I Endurance just to put on pressure. Maybe I should have stopped the thing, but I don't know. Okay, so I think it's pretty likely that my opponent has Kaldra, but if they do, then and they spend their turn doing that, then I can just dismember the Kaldra anyway. So I think that's probably better. Opponent ponders. I also kind of want to save this force for the potential. Yeah, so that's the Kaldra. I'm just gonna dismember this. I can save the force for Ursa Saga, which I know my opponent's playing. No force is good. Land. Now we get to play force through the ace. Also, my opponent could be playing Batterskull technically. I don't think it's super likely, but okay, so I guess I have to force both Shukos right now. So let's get a drop. I'm going to force both Shukos, because otherwise my opponent, they minus on Collector Roof, and then they play the Cephalid dude, and they combo me out. Now next turn I can play Udo, which is nice. They bounce Kaldra, it's pretty good. I don't know why they activated main phase. Like, now if I draw this member, I win. I don't think they should have activated main phase there. Let's fetch here, I guess. Is there a reason not to fetch? I don't think so. So the classic fetching to thin actually makes sense here. I can now Udo, blue, blue, blue. So I guess if I draw exactly the haste land... Oh, this is elemental. Oh, brutal. I forgot about that. Never mind. So I guess... my Udo can actually get countered. Well, there's that. Boseiju. Does that do anything? I don't think so. Yeah, I guess I'm just going to play this. And my opponent clearly does not have counter magic. So I'm just going to hold up Boseiju in case my opponent has the combo again. If I swing, my opponent blocks Collector Roof. Yeah, it's probably not worth it. They could have Swords to Plowshares, however. Honestly, I don't know, because I think it's likely that they sideboarded as in... Oh, come on. Just had the combo. Yeah, this deck's pretty good. Not gonna lie, this deck's pretty darn good. Yeah. I don't think there was too much I could have done there. Just gonna get Thassa's Oracled. Yeah, I think that they just sideboarded it as if I were lands. So no Swords to Plowshares, looks like. But yeah, anyway. Alright, let's move on to the next match. Round number 3. This sounds pretty good. Yeah, let's keep this. We have some good mana. We have Once Upon a Times. We have Green Sun Zenith. We can actually Zenith for Uro turn 2 if we want to. Mana Confluence. Huh, okay. Let's see what we draw. Turn 1, we're gonna lead on Once Upon. Well, there's an Uro. I can also get Wasteland to... My opponent's playing Mana Confluence, so whatever they're doing, they're up to no good over there. So we can just Wasteland their Mana Confluence. Oh, wow. They have Crop Rotation? Super punished. Extremely punished. So is this like Rainbow Depths? It's gotta be. This has to be Rainbow Depths. They get Bojuka Bog? Oh, I'm into it. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, go get that Bojuka Bog. Go get that Bojuka Bog that I totally care about. It's actually pretty funny how we masquerade as being... It's really funny how we masquerade as being lands. It's kind of hilarious. So let's get a Saga into play. And awkwardly enough, I guess I just have to pass the turn here. And I just, once upon a time, my opponent sense that my opponent knows about the Boseiju, so they know that they can't go for the combo. So now we just untap, and I guess we just play a land and ship the turn back. This bounce land represents more mana in my hand than in play. So I just need to make sure that I don't randomly die. I think I Once Upon a Time now. Although I can get crop rotation and then they take my amulet and I lose, so I don't like that. Let's not do that then. Untap, float a green mana, get an Amulet of Vigor, play a bounce land, float a mana, bounce, play another bounce land, make 6 mana. Here's a Primeval Titan. We can't get punished here, by the way. So let's go get Caracas, and I think the other choice is gonna be Boseiju. We could get another Ursa Saga, but let's get Boseiju so we don't get blown out, I think. It also means that I have another Boseiju back in the tank. Oh, I don't have red mana. That's fine, though. That's fine. Okay, they copy. And now what? Can they Wasteland me? They Stifle? Oh, they have their own Boseiju. That kills me, I think. Can I get any other land? Because here, now I can actually haste the Primeval Titan. So I guess what I can do is I can go get Uro. I can once upon a time for an Uro, I think. So we swing here. We get a bounce land and a Field of the Dead. No, I need to get 2 bounce lands. So I get 2 bounce lands because I already made all my land drops. And now I can potentially once upon a time into Uro. Bounce Taiga. Bounce Yavimaya, I guess. Merit Lage making Boseiju cheaper is kind of hilarious. Once upon a time, no Uro, but that's a blocker. Okay. And slowly but surely, we will try to grind it out. Oh man. Alright, sure. You got me. Okay, so super punished for playing out the for wastelanding ahead of time. Super punished for that. So let's bring in Ramanap, cut Collector Roof, cut the One Ring. I don't think I want Bojuka Bog. I do have a bunch of nice lands. Crop rotation's great. We can cut probably 2 Cavernous Souls. Caracas is great. Do I want more Endurances? I don't think so. Maybe I want Forces. Maybe I want Forces for PD Needles and stuff. Is Force better? Maybe it's better than like that Cavernous Souls? I'm not even sure that's the case though. Let's bring in 1, I guess. What do we got? Fine hand, I guess. So lead on Once Upon a Time. Turn 1 Endurance. Turn 1 Amulet into Saga. Once Upon a Time for... do we actually want Uro here over Prime Time? I think I do, actually. Yeah, let's go with Uro. And I think I'm gonna go Saga and play Amulet. The other possibility over Uro would have been something like getting a land. Damn, are they going all in? They are. So can I draw the Caracas there? Looks like no. Am I dead? Yeah, I'm definitely dead. All right, well that was a match, I guess. Cool. No! Caracas was the next draw and followed by Wasteland. Brutal. All right, see you next round. Round number 4, what do we got here? I think I like this. I think this is fine. We got Endurance, Stitcher Supplier. Playing against the Hogaak. Oh, okay. So this is that version of Hogaak that's also plays the Depths combo. So this deck gets hosed by Caracas. Okay, so let's get the Growth Chamber. And we're gonna play Saga into Amulet of Vigor. Pass the turn back. So now next turn, if I draw an Uro, I can play it. Opponent plays a land. They're gonna swing for 1. This is acceptable. Just pass the turn. They want to play another Saga? I think so. So this speeds up the process for me to get a quick double Amulet or Amulet plus Expedition Map. Supplier gets in there. You just pass the turn back again. Okay, so gonna float a mana here, I guess. And I think that I'm just going to get a second Amulet. So now we play Breeding Pool. Say no. This is going to untap twice. Then we get to play Exploration. And now, do I just... Because what I can do here is I can play the Bounce land. Or I can play... I think I'm just going to play this Taiga. And I'm just going to say go. And this allows me to either Endurance or make a Construct. Whatever's better. Vampire Hexmage. That's fine. Cool. So we get to make a dude for free. Don't hate that. That's a Green Sun Zenith. Yeah, we're going to be making a decent amount of mana here. So how much mana am I making? Just infinite, right? Just straight up infinite mana. Is that how much I'm making? Because I think that I can even just make this construct here. Because I can just get a third Amulet, go get Growth Chamber. Nah, I think I'd rather just play a little bit slower. Like I don't actually need to do that. So I can just leave the Expedition Map in the bank. So play a Bounce land. This opens more options for me. They're going to Crop Rot for Wasteland. I mean, if they're doing that, I'm ecstatic, right? Yeah, they're gonna crop route here. But if they crop route for a wasteland, this is great for me. Because I have expedition map, I can just go get something else. Like, this is the kind of game that I want to play, right? Yeah, this is whatever. That's fine. It got me. So now I can only make 5 mana if I go get a bounce land. So instead of doing that, I'm just going to play this. Oh, this is 2 mana. So 1, 2, 3. So I bounce Breeding Pool. I can make 5 mana if I want to. Does that do anything? I can go get Udo, because the problem is I cannot really do endurance stuff here. So I think I'm actually just gonna go get Udo. So X equals 3, go find Udo. Okay, let's play the Cavern on Giant and ship the turn back. Do I want to swing? I don't think so. So I just pass. I don't want the Stitcher Supply to flip a Hogaak. Like, they could just have the Hogaak, but like I don't think I care too much about Hogaak. My board is going to be a lot better than Hogaak next turn. So this expedition map is now open to a Boseiju, but if they do that, they give me Once Upon a Time mana, which is kind of nice. Okay, so they did beat the Hogaak, which we're going to be able to bounce. Cabal Therapy. Yeah, you got it. I honestly hope that they hit, because that would be the 6th card for Udo. So I'm kind of excited about my opponent hitting with this Cabal Therapy, because that allows me to play the Breeding Pool, and then that is 4 mana, and then I can potentially crack map for Caracas. I mean, I just don't care about the Hogaak. Like, the only card that matters would be a 20/20. They banned another Gak. So they get rid of the Once Upon a Time, and now we can get back Udo. Unless my opponent plays Adepts. If they play Adepts, I'm just going to crack map for Caracas. But because I don't care about this Hogaak, like, this Udo is easily outracing the Hogaak, I don't really need to pop this Expedition map just yet. I love that I also have a casual 4/4 in here. Yep, so play Breeding Pool, and we're just gonna get back Udo. Get back Udo. Crop Rotation's a nice one for my opponent to not know about, by the way. I'm even playing out the Boseiju because I can just crop route and bounce it if I want. I think we just pass. My only concern is to not get killed by a random 20/20. This Hogaak is not doing anything. Echoing Deep. Okay, so now they do have the Dark Depths. Opponent should not attack. Yeah, I don't like that attack. So that attack enabled me to use Udo now. Sure. Let's go with a bounce land, and we'll see what my opponent does here. But this is about to get fun. So now we're just going to bounce the Boseiju, so I have an answer to my opponent attempting to combo me off. So this is a CNET for 7. That's going to get Primetime. Now, Primetime shows up. Let's get Field of the Dead and Hangwar Battlement. And by the way, this is how we used to beat Hogaak, which is nice. Brings me back a little bit. Field of the Dead was the answer to Hogaak back in the Hogaak days in Modern. So we're gonna haste Primetime, and we're about to show my opponent who the actual aggressor was in this in this matchup. Might as well get in there with the 3/3 for good measure. Oh, I messed up the triggers. Whoops. Not that it matters, but so let's get Saga, and I guess I'm gonna get Wasteland, which is going to force my opponent. So by gating Wasteland, this is going to force my opponent to pop the Vampire Hexmage, and then I can just crop rotation for a Caracas and bounce it. So cool. That happened. And now we crop rotation, pitching Cavern of Souls for Caracas. No 20/20 for you. Yeah, this kind of matchup is usually very good in my experience, so the fact that, I mean, these are the angles that we actually can interact in. So we cannot interact very well versus stuff like the Cephalid Breakfast combo, right? Like that kind of deck, we actually kind of struggle to interact against. The same is true. Obviously, I'm entirely ignoring matchups like Doomsday or Storm, things like that. We cannot beat that kind of deck, like straight up. It's just not a thing that my deck can do, and I'm just accepting that. So yeah, like this kind of matchup, like stuff that's a little bit more fair, that's where this deck thrives. And like, you know, stuff like Green White Depths, I probably will have a much better matchup than against like Turbo Depths, which can cheese me out. Because if we're playing a longer game, like, then I'm it, you know? So I think I want to cut 1 Endurance, maybe 1 Green Sensitive. I don't think this deck is very cool, by the way. I don't know how good it actually is, but it seems very fun, and it's kind of great, honestly. Like, it looks very, very cool. Definitely keeping this hand. Definitely keeping this hand. So we get to go turn 1 Once Upon a Time, then Exploration into Wasteland to not get comboed out, or we can Exploration into Ursa Saga. I probably should look at the lands from the newer sets, honestly. Like, I have not even looked at the new set that came out, the Excellent set. And that cave card that my opponent had over there was kind of interesting. I don't know how good it actually is, but if my opponent's smart, they're going to take the exploration. Yep. Okay. So the thing now is, do I want a wasteland? And maybe I kind of think I do. We get super punished if my opponent like plays a second Urborg, right? But I do think that turn 1 Urborg is not necessarily where my opponent wants to be, so likelihood of second land is not super high. Okay, there you go. They actually did have a second land. Actually, now that I think about it, that's not really true. Maybe I shouldn't have wastelanded. I wonder if my opponent is going to name Once Upon a Time here. And they just hope that I never make it to Primeval Titan? Okay. They're not taking the risk. That's funny. At the same time, like, they may get punished for that. I think I want to lead on Saga, actually. Yeah, I think so. And there's no need for me to play Once Upon just yet. Ramanab is a great draw, however. My best draw would have been probably Exploration. Dread Arbor. So if they flashback Therapy, I'm just going to Once Upon a Time and just get any land. Crop Rot. Okay. It's pretty interesting. Because they have Hogaak in hand. Okay. That was cool. That was a pretty cool sequence. So in response to that, I'm obviously going to cast this Once Upon a Time. We're going to get literally any... I guess I can even get an Uro here. Oh, Maze of Ith is hilarious. Yeah, let's get Maze of Ith. That's a hilarious draw. So that's again infinite time now. That's so funny. Slightly awkward because like this doesn't tap for mana, but that is really funny. Yeah, they name Primeval Titan. They don't even know what to name there. I mean, there's no way in the blind they name Ramanap right there, right? Right now they have a bunch of green mana, nothing else. And sure, they can have crop rotation to wasteland my maze, and that would be kind of the problem, but unless they have that specifically, we should be able to buy pretty significant amount of time here. And if this is all they're doing, and I'm just taking 1 point of damage, I'm into this. Yeah, opponent just packs it in. Oh, that was fun. That was a lot of fun. Okay, 2/2 on a dream. I'm gonna keep this hand, I think. Any hand that has exploration is just so good. So we're gonna lead on Boseiju, exploration, and then I'm gonna play the fetch land. The reason to do this is so that I don't know whether I'm playing maybe against the Blood Moon deck or against the Wasteland deck or whatever, and this delays the decision because we're just going to get a basic here because of Price of Progress, I guess, because it looks like we're playing against Burn. So I'm just gonna crop rotation the Boseiju away for an Ursa Saga. We're gonna get that party started, and then we're gonna be able to get a bunch of mana next turn. I think I care about the construct actually. Play the Cavernon Giant, and I think I care about making the construct. Next turn I get to float a mana. Although I guess if I play exploration here, next turn I'm gonna have 2 bounce lands, so I float a mana. I have 2 mana. Then I'm gonna have 3 land drops, so that's 6 mana, up to 7, and then I can play Primeval Titan from there. I may even play an Uro actually next turn. Maybe I need to scene it for Uro. Maybe that's just a better play. Yeah, I think I'm actually gonna make a construct because I'm gonna be able to make 8 mana next turn, so exploration doesn't really change the math there. I mean, playing the exploration this turn doesn't change them. I'm not going to be blocking the Swift Spear, however. Well, never mind. Now that they actually used the removal spell, I'm going to block it. So it's going to save me 2 points of damage. So let's just block there. If my opponent hadn't played Chain Lightning, I was not going to make a construct because then I would be enable my opponent's Searing Blaze. Drew the One Ring. I guess I can actually play this as well. So let's do that. So float a mana, get Amulet of Vigor. Then we're going to crop rotation. I guess I actually want to crop rotation the Cavern of Souls away. So crop rotation, Cavern of Souls, get a Growth Chamber, float 2 mana, play exploration, play another bounce land, and then we're gonna make up to 7 mana here. This is 7. We still have 1 land drop actually. So let's prime time for 6. There's the prime time, and we're going to. I think I actually want to get Howard Battlements and Gruul Turf, and the reason for this is so that I can bounce my land. Oh, I guess I can just get Wasteland. Yeah, so we can just go Taiga, because I don't want to just randomly die to Price of Progress, because it's going to actually take me multiple turns to get there. So let's haste Primeval Titan. My opponent just concedes. Yeah, they were not dead. They were definitely not dead. Maybe they did not have access to Blood Moon game 1. To Price of Progress game 1. So I think I want Maze of Ith, and I think I want Wastelands. Do not want Bujukipog. Do not want Caracas. My best card this entire game is going to be Uro. Electroof is going to come out as well. And I think that's it. Is the One Ring good enough? Seems really sketchy. I honestly have no idea how burn lists look like in Legacy these days, so I don't know whether Force of Vigor is good. I could see Force being better than the One Ring, honestly. I do think One Ring is kind of a trap. Maybe Endurance is just as blockers. Nah, I'm gonna leave the One Ring, I guess. Which I think it's bad, but I think it's probably better than the alternative. So this hand has Uro, which is kind of the only thing I care about, so... We're going to go turn 1, Saga Amulet. Wait, Badlands? Interesting. Drew a Wasteland. Not bad. So we're playing into Smash 2 Smithereens, but I really want to be able to play Udo on turn 2. Opponent plays Swift Spear. We're gonna draw the One Ring. Okay, cool. So let's play a second Amulet, and then we're going to play Growth Chamber. And I think we are probably going to just play Udo with green floating and gain 3 life, play our extra land. We'll see what we draw. Cavern of Souls doesn't actually do too much for us, because I kind of want to play... I guess I can just play the One Ring if I play the Growth Chamber. I kind of want to play Endurance, just like straight up, play it straight up. I really want to develop my mana too, though. This is kind of awkward. But I feel like it's going to be really important for me to have a blocker. Next turn we're going to have like infinity mana. So I can play Endurance here and I guess hold. I can also just play the One Ring. Is that better? Yeah, it's probably better. Okay, so put Uro in the graveyard and just play the One Ring. So this is effectively a time walk. Opponent plays a Swift Spear. I'm not gonna draw a card with Ring. Maybe I am actually. Yeah, let's actually draw a card because I can find something good here. Like a Primeval Titan or something. Like if I do find it, I can just cast it. So let's get... I think we're just gonna get Amulet number 3. So if I get Amulet number 3, I can play Growth Chamber. Then... when I get 2 looks, yeah, I'm just gonna use the One Ring here. 2 looks at a Primeval Titan. Okay, so here I can just play Breeding Pool, tapped, and that's gonna give me Endurance mana. Oh, actually I can just play a second Ring. This is much better, yeah. Triple Amulet, baby. Play another Ring, keep the one that doesn't deal me damage, and ship it back. I think I'm just discarding Cavern of Souls. Should I have drawn with One Ring just so I can have one more card to discard? I am having... Oh no, Grafdigger's Cage. Oh no, that's fine actually, because I can just Boseiju that. So next turn I have... Yeah, I'm gonna have much more than enough mana here. No need to draw the card. Yeah, so play Growth Chamber, float a gazillion mana. Do I need to Crop Rot? Yes, because I'm one short. So I guess I have to float a mana. Then bounce here, Boseiju, the Grafdigger's Cage. Crop Rotation, the Breeding Pool. I guess I can just get Yamimaya. Nah, that doesn't make sense. Let's put a Wasteland into play. I guess I can get a Maze of Ith. Let's get Maze of Ith. And now we get back Udo. And I imagine this is going to be enough to win. Hell yeah. Play Boseiju, play Exploration, play Wasteland. Yeah, we're cooking here. We are cooking. I don't even care about price progress anymore. The only problematic thing would be if my opponent has double Lightning Bolt, I guess. That can kill the Uro. But I can still beat that, though. I guess I should have also Wastelanded them. I didn't think about it at all. I was thinking about price or progress, and I forgot that I can just Wasteland their Badlands. Should have definitely done that. I do feel like I'm maybe a little bit too far ahead for this to matter, but I'm even going to draw cards with the One Ring. That's how far ahead I am right now. Yeah, so opponent just passes the turn. I'm just going to Wasteland the Badlands. Draw with Ring. Another Uro. Yeah, we're done here. Very much done. Another room. That's a lot of life that we're going to be gaining. Hey, look at that one. So play this. Make 6 mana for Primeval Titan. Say yes. We're going to get... Yep. Okay. Opponent just backs it in. All right, cool. That was fun. 3-2 always feels fine with this deck. Always it feels actively good with this deck. Well, there you go. Another 3-2. Which kind of feels good whenever it is with this deck for whatever reason. I am starting to believe that this is not as much of a meme as I think. Like I've been kind of doing consistently well with this, which is a little bit surprising, but at the same time, I think it makes sense. Like the entire Legacy format is kind of built around Bowmasters and stuff like that. There's a lot of fair decks. And whenever we get paired against the fair deck, it just feels like we are outrageously ahead, right? So the only thing would be stuff like, Wasteland decks. But besides Delver, I have not really seen that many Wasteland decks. And even against Delver, like, yeah, maybe Delver is like we cannot really beat, but anything that isn't Delver, we can kind of go around very well. And the fact that Cavern of Souls actually works as opposed to in something like Modern where people are playing subtlety and stuff. This deck just kind of attacks on an angle that is the format is not necessarily ready for, so that's very interesting. Whether or not I should be playing the One Ring is definitely a question mark, even though, you know, it was obviously pretty good in that last match, but still, it feels like it could potentially be a little bit lackluster, not necessarily what this deck is about. But I'm going to continue playing. I could see also going up to a third copy, but the thing I've been the most impressed with has been the Uro. Like, Uro has been doing so much work and in multiple different ways, and it's actually much easier to turn on than you would think because of crop rotation. Crop rotation does such a great job at turning Uro on, so that's very cool. Hopefully you enjoyed it, folks. I'll see you in the next video, and take care. Bye bye.